Hey everyone, how's it going? So today I'm not there today, so this is why you are watching this video. Alright, so what are we doing today? I can write and solve equations from word problems. So we're doing that today. That's our objective. Alright, rule number one. Always do the same to both sides of the operation. We'll get into that in a minute. Rule number two. Isolate my variable using inverse operation, also known as the opposite operation. All right, so let's review on how to solve this when it's the variables on both sides. So we're going to create our equation from the word problem. So let's say this is our word problem. This is our equation. Then what we want to do is move variables all on both sides. So here's what I'm going to do. We add 2x here, add 2x here. So that goes away. And then what do we have? We have 5x. Okay. Then the next step is to isolate the variable by doing the inverse operation. Now what I want to do, I want to get this 5x by itself, so we're going to get rid of the positive 16. Inverse operation is negative 16 to cancel out. What I do to one side, I must do to the other side. Then I have negative 15 equals 5x, right? So then we divide by 5. That's the next step, divide by the coefficient. So then I have x equals negative 3. All right, that was just a review. Now let's kind of go into it. So on this side right here, we're going to be writing the equations for both of the things we're talking about, and then we're going to be showing the work on this side. So let's going to do that. So it says container A and B have leaks. All right, container A has an 800 milliliter of container A has 800 milliliters of water and is leaking 6 milliliters per minute. Container B has 1,000 milliliters of water and is leaking 10 milliliters per minute. How many minutes M will it take for the two containers to have the same amount of water? So that's reading it one time. Now let's go ahead and do this problem. So let's go ahead and highlight some important information. So we have container. Well, actually, super important, leaks. Leaks means it's losing water, right? So container A has 800 milliliters of water and is leaking 6 milliliters per minute. Okay, so let's think about this. Let's write my expression on how we would do that. So if it has 800, so we'll say container A, right? So it has 800, and then it's leaking. What is leaking? Leaking means to lose. If I'm losing, we're subtracting. So I'm leaking 6 milliliters per minute, 6 ml per minute. So that's 6, we'll just call it 6x. Right, so we start with 800 and we're leaking. This is my rate right here, per. Right, this per tells me that's like my constant rate of change. Cool. So we have my A, that we have my container A equation. Now let's write my container B equation. Container B. All right. Container B, what does container B say? Container B says, whoa, highlighter. Container B has 1,000 milliliters and is leaking 10 milliliters per minute. All right, so if it contains 1,000 and it's losing, right, because leaking means to take away, 10 milliliters per minute. So we have, this is the rate right here, so 10 per minute. 10 per minute. So now we have our two equations. Whoa, did not mean to do that, my bad. So now we have our two equations. All right. Now the question says, how long will it take for the two containers to have the same amount of water? What does same mean? Same means equal. So we need to set them equal to each other. So we have container A equal to container B. All right. So if we have container A equal to container B, let's write their equations, right? Container A's equation is 800 minus 6x equal to 1,000 minus 10x. All right, and then we just need to solve for it. So let's go ahead and let's go and draw my line down here. Oops, let me draw this line. So draw my line. I want to get the x's to one side and get the numbers to the other side, my constants. So let's call this side my variable side and this side my constant side. This is where all the numbers go. All right, so let's go ahead and simplify. So I'm going to add 10x here and then add 10x here. So I can get rid of my x's on this side and then put my x's all on the left side. All right, so let's write down what I have left. So I still have 800 And then if I have negative 6x's and then I add 10x's, I have a positive 4x equal to 1,000, right? Okay, then we still want to get the x's by themselves, right? Here's my x's. We want to get rid of this 800. We don't want that. That's not an x. That it doesn't have an x next to it, so it doesn't belong on that side. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. So minus 800, minus 800. All right, so that goes away. So what do I have left on this side? I have 4x left on the left side equals, if 1,000 minus 800 is 200. Okay, lastly, we want to get x by itself, right? So what do? We divide by its coefficient, the number in front of your x, divide by 4, divide by 4. So x is equal to what? 50. X is equal to 50. So how many minutes will it take? It will take 50 minutes. This is what this represents. So we'll take 50 minutes to be the same for same amount of water, to have same amount of water. Have same amount of water. Bam. Okay, that is how we do that. I'll do one more with you guys, and then you can try to pause the video after the next one, try it yourself, and then play the video. So let's do the next one. All right, so the next one says, Tim is choosing between two cell phone plans that offer the same amount of included data. All right, so AT&T's plan charges $40 per month with an additional gigs of costing $15 each. Okay, and then the Verizon plan charges $65 with an additional gigs of $10 each. How many gigs, G, will it take for the two plans to cost the same? So let's go ahead and write what we have, right? We have two plans. So we have the AT&T plan, and then we have the Verizon plan. All right, let's go and highlight the important information. So the important information, let's see what we have. So AT&T's plan, what is that? AT&T's plan is right here. Okay, so then it says it charges $40 per month with an additional of $15, costing data $15 each, right? Okay, and then it costs $65 with an additional data of costing $10 each for Verizon. So let's write AT&T's plan. So it's going to be per month. Okay, so this is where it gets a little confusing, right? So is this going to be my rate, or is this going to be my rate? Because this says $15 each, and this is $40 per month. Now, what is the question asking us? The question is asking us how many additional gigs will it take for the plans to be the same. So then this is what we want. This is what we want to be our rate, the gigs, right? So my rate right here is going to be, this is going to be my rate, and this is going to be my rate. So this right here is going to be just going to be 40 plus 15G. Okay, so that's that one. And then let's look at the Verizon plan, $65 with an additional each, with $10 each additional. So it's going to be 65 plus $10 each gig, right? So that's what we have so far. Bam, bam. Those are my two equations. Now it wants to know how long will it take for two plans to cost the same? What does same mean? Equal. So we need to set these equal to each other, right? So we have AT&T must be equal to Verizon. Okay, now that we have those two equal to each other, what I need to do next is write their equations. AT&T's equation is 40 plus 15G equal to 65 plus 10G. And then I just need to solve for G, right? Because it's asking how many gigs will it take? So let's solve for G. So again, we go ahead and set up my equation. All right, let's look at this. We get the G's to one side. I'm going to say this is my G side, and this is my number side. Okay, so let's go and do that. So I'm going to subtract 10G from here. So what I do to one side, I must do to the other side. Subtract 10G from there. So that cancels out, right? So let's write down what I have left. I have 40 plus 5G equals to 65. All right, I have that. Then the issue is this 40 right here, right? This is supposed to have a G next to it. That's not what we want. This 40, we got to get rid of it. So I need to do minus 40, right? So that cancels out. Now what do I have left on the left side? I have 5G equals 2. What is 65 minus 40, right? 65 minus 40 is going to be 25. All right. Lastly, we want to get G by itself. So we're going to divide by 5 here. Divide by 5 here. So G equals 5. So it says how many additional gigs will it take the two plans to be the same? It will take 5 more gigs. So take 5 more gigs. That's how many more it'll take for them to be the same. All right, so these two I want you guys to try. Read it, try to come up with the equations. So we're going to pause the video, try to do it yourself, and then play the video. So I'm going to go a little faster on these, okay? So here we go. So it says Bill weighs 120 pounds and is gaining 10 pounds each month. Phil weighs 150 pounds and is gaining 4 pounds each month. How many months M will it take for Bill to weigh the same as Phil? Okay, so the variable they want to use is M, not X, but we're going to use this variable. All right, so let's write both of their names down. So we know we have Bill, and then we have Phil. Bill and Phil. All right, Bill and Phil. Bam, bam. Let's go ahead and write these equations for Bill and Phil. So we have 120 pounds, and then we have 10 pounds each month. So each month tells us this is going to be our rate. This will be our rate right here. So we have 120 plus 10M. That's our rate. Okay, rate right here. Okay, so we have that expression for that one. And now we need Phil. So we have 150 pounds and gaining 4 pounds each month. So there's my next rate. So we have 150 plus 4M. How long will it take for them to be the same weight? We know same means equal. So we need to set Bill and Phil equal to each other, right? Bill equals Phil. All right, let's fill it in. All right, so we have Bill's equation, which is 120 plus 10M equals 150 plus 4M. All right, now let's just solve this. Draw my line down. All right, let's do that. I'm gonna just call this my M side, and this is my number side. All right, we want all my M's to be on one side. Let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going ahead and subtract 4M here, subtract 4M here. All right, write down what I have left. We have 120. If I have 10 M's and I take away 4 M's, I have 6 M's left. Right, and then this is 150, so that goes away. All right, keep solving for M. Right, this is my M side, so I need to get rid of this 120 minus 120. So that goes away. What do I have left here? 6M equals 2. What is this? 30. Bam. Keep going. Divide by 6. Divide by 6 because that's the number in front of my M. M equals 2, 5. So what does the question ask? How many months will it take for them to be the same weight? So this means it will take 5 months to be same weight. Same weight. Bam. Good job. Last one. Let's get this last one. All right. So at a store, a trophy costs $12.50. Cool. At one store, engraving costs 40 cents per letter. At another store, the trophy costs $14.75 and engraving costs 25 cents. How many letters? This is a variable we're going to use. Must be engraved to be cost the same. It's the same way we set it up. So we're going to call this store 1 and store 2. All right, let's do this. Store 1 and store 2. Let's look at store 1's rate. So here we go. So it's just store 1 all right here. Okay, so if it costs $12.50 and then 40 cents per letter. So there's my rate right here. Here's my rate. So this is going to be 1250 plus 0.40, and we're going to use E instead of X this time, okay? All right, store 2, what is store 2? Store number 2. Whoa, sorry. Hold on, go back. All right, store number 2 is $14.75 and then costs 25 cents. All right, so this is going to be 14.75 plus 0.25 E. All right, you already know what we're going to do. We got to send them equal to each other, right? 1 must equal 2. Store 1 must equal 2. So let's write store 1's equation. We have 1250 plus 0.40 E equal to 1475 plus 0.25 E. All right, now let's go ahead and solve. Draw my line down. Get my E's on one side. Get my numbers to the other side. Let's go. All right, so here we go. I'm going to subtract 0.25, right? I want to subtract 0.25. Let's get rid of that here. But what I do to one side, I must do to the other. All right. All right, so what do we have left? Bring down 12.5 because I haven't used that yet. All right, so if I have 40 cents and I take away 25 cents, I have what, 15 cents left? So this is going to be plus 0.15 E. Okay, equal to 14.75. All right, now what I need to do is I need to get rid of this right there. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. So we're going to do, what is that? Subtract 1250 from each side. Subtract 1250 from each side. All right, that goes away. So what do I have left? Well, Mr. Sauce's math is not always on point, so let's go ahead and bring up this calculator. So 14.75 minus 12.5. All right, so then what we have here is, this is going to be equal to 2.25. All right, and I still have 0.15 E on this side. Last step, divide by the number in front, 0.15. Divide by 0.15. Okay, so we have E equals, so divide that by, delete. Then press enter, 2.25 divided by 0.15, which is 15. All right, so what does the question ask? The question, how many letters must be engraved for the cost to be the same? So we must engrave 15 letters for the cost to be the same. 15 letters for cost to be the same. All right, that concludes. Hope you guys enjoyed my video.